I told people I was agnostic up until about a week and a half ago when a series of events happened every single night at my workplace that led me to believe that Jesus Christ is the true God. A little bit of context is needed for the story to make sense. About 2 months ago, an event transpired that triggered my depression to come back. And when that happened, I really wanted to not exist anymore. And it involved somebody that I really loved, and I was really worried about them. And I did the one thing that I never really expected to ever do, ask for help. I've been practicing witchcraft for a while now, and nothing that I did in that craft seemed to help. I was kind of helpless in a way, and I asked one of my Christian friends at the time to pray for me and for that other person. And I didn't know if it would work, but I thought, hey, let's see what happens. So the next few weeks go on, and I start reading the Bible more. I start kind of just getting a little bit more interested in wanting to learn more about the religion, because I had been forced into it by my family when I was younger, and that's one of the reasons why, the main reason why I turned away from it, because it was shoved down my throat as a kid, and I was abused mentally and physically my entire life growing up, and it really soured my mind and my soul to the point where I absolutely despised the religion and my family. But I've always been a very logical and analytical person, so I wanted to actually take the time and learn about the religion on my own, something I'd never really done before. I'd only ever been inside of an echo chamber. One night I was just incredibly depressed, just crying, and I just called out to God. I was like, if you're real, show me a sign. If you're real, I work at a restaurant as an assistant manager, and I've never really been a greedy person. I've never really been materialistic, but I was like, okay, what's an idea that would possibly solidify my belief in God? So I was like, hey, God, if you're real, have somebody tip me $50, $60. And I thought that was like somewhat of a decent amount of money, but also it's not like an insane amount of money. I'm not greedy, so I thought that was like a weird like middle ground. But anyways, I did that. And randomly one day I get switched to overnights at my job, because the restaurant that I work at is 24 hours. The very first night that happened, I ended up having 2 people walk into my store wearing I Love Jesus shirts. And I saw that, and the first thing that came in my mind was ask them a question. Ask them why, God, what the relationship they have with them means to them. Like, why do they believe, basically? And I did. And that turned into like a 2-hour-long conversation. So I need to back up a little bit in the timeline. So that Christian friend that I asked to pray for me, and my friend, the person that I love, randomly sent me a music video for the artist Dax, and it was one of his newer songs. And he's a Christian rapper. Sure you may have heard of him, especially if you're here on TikTok, because he has millions of followers. But anyways, I saw that music video, and I was like, I just got the overwhelming urge to start making Christian music, which is weird. I don't know why. It's just, I used to make music that just cursed God all the time. I used to say a lot of terrible things. I used to glorify a lot of sinful things. But I just got the random urge to make some Christian music. And I did. And the night that those 2 people came in, I showed them this music. And one of the people said, oh, that's interesting that you say that. Like, I'm not even supposed to be here tonight, and I've been doing Christian rap as well, and this kind of inspires me, and I thought that was pretty cool that I was able to help him and he was able to help me. The very next night, a group of Christians came into the store, and they made a mistake on the math on their tip, and I go up to them and talk to them about the issue at hand, and they were like, wow, you're really honest, like you could have stolen this extra money from me. Like, that kind of restores our faith in like humanity a bit. And that kind of incident has happened, a few times at the store. But that was the first time anybody has said that like they really, really appreciated it and that it affected them. I thought that was very weird right after the first one. And then the third night happened. The cook and my server did not show up that night, and I could not get anybody else into the store. So it was only me doing all the cooking, all the serving, all the managing stuff. And there was a point where a whole bunch of people just came into the lobby, and I was like, hey, I can't do anything right now, quickly. It's going to take 30, 40 minutes for me probably to even get to y'all. And most of them left except for one guy. At this point, I had bought a Bible like a few weeks prior, and I had it laying open in one of the booths directly in front of the kitchen where I could see it. And whenever I was cooking, I looked up and I could see that the guy had stopped to read the Bible on those pages that I had open. And I had opened them to a completely random page. There wasn't really any reason why I was reading those passages. It was just on a whim. And I got done. I go over to him, and I asked him like what he wanted to eat, and he was like, "Is this yours?" I was like, "Yeah." I kind of started believing again. Maybe, I don't know. And he was like, "Yeah. I mean, I've had a hard time too lately. This passage helped." And he was really appreciative and thankful, and he said that what he had read helped him multiple times. That was the third night. That same night, a college student, came in and was needing a place to just charge his phone and do some studying. So I sent him off to a place that was quiet, and he tipped me $60. And I was like, what? That's crazy. That's what I just prayed about. The fourth night in a row, I had a concert let out, and half of the store was flooded with people wearing shirts with Lucifer's name on the back of them. And then out of nowhere, a group of Christians came in with Jesus' name on either the front or the back of them. And there's about 20 of them. So half the store was filled with people that were wearing satanic clothing, the other half religious clothing. And that kind of spooked me. The Christians went around and prayed for everybody. They prayed for me. And when they were praying for me, I started to feel peaceful. I don't really know why, but I welcomed it. I started making that Christian rap music about a month ago, and I'd really only posted it here on TikTok for about 2 weeks, maybe 3, and I've amassed over 22,000 views on here, and my streams have gone up quite a bit on my other platforms, and it was really interesting because all my other music I know was good, but I never really gained the traction that this Christian music was getting. And on top of that, it opened up a lot of friendships, started with just other people that I've met here on TikTok. But the fifth night, this is where things get pretty interesting. I had been on the fence about throwing about my witchcraft stuff, and I did not know if I should get rid of it or not. I didn't know if I was going to go back to that or continue with the Christianity thing. I felt like I definitely believed in God and Jesus at this point, but I was still struggling. A random pastor messaged me here on TikTok asking for some music for a podcast that they were starting. And we ended up in a discussion, and he sent me Acts 19, 17 through 20. And in that story, it talks about how people were practicing magic, took all their scrolls and burned them. I know that he sent that in the conversation as a metaphor for me getting rid of all of my old music. But the fact that it was related to magic, and I had been weighing heavily the pros and cons of getting rid of my witchcraft stuff, that really spooked me as well. And after 5 days in a row of different random encounters, or seemingly random encounters with something spiritual or God related or Jesus related, where not only have I been helped, I've been able to help other people. That really is hard to fathom that thing could be a coincidence. I really don't think it can be. I feel like there's definitely a higher power, and that higher power is Jesus. I immediately got up out of bed. I took every single item related to witchcraft, all of my herbs, my plates that I used to burn stuff on, all the candles, crystals, everything, threw them away. I do realize that a lot of these things definitely could be chalked up to coincidences. The majority of people, especially if you have a very analytical and logical mind. But for me, it just does not seem like it could be. I definitely believe that God was revealing himself to me. And I really hope that he can reveal himself to you too through this video.